What is up, guys? How are we all doing today? Welcome back to the channel. So I just got back from the RLCS Spring Major in London. My first experience outside the United States of America was overall a fantastic one. Traveling sucked ass. Not very cool at all. But the actual experience of being in London, especially with all these amazing people and especially with all these content creators that I stayed with and got to meet, holy shit, it really was such a good time. I was surprised at how many of you guys recognized me. I took like a ton of photos with a bunch of people. If anyone met me there, took a picture, please post it onto like my Discord or onto Twitter so I can see it and like it and comment on it. This is also my first time experiencing an RLCS live event outside of America. I went to the LA LAN and that was an amazing time. I have a viewer tournament going. I'm going to give my community here a few minutes to hop in and kind of give you guys an idea of what it really is like to go to one of these events and to go to one of these events that is outside of your country. It's a little bit easier if you're like traveling from inside your country, but outside, holy crap. And then yeah, let's get it started. We've got a few minutes, but I figured I'd take this little time before we actually start to just kind of explain everything. To start off with, let's kind of take it step by step. The main thing that I had an issue with as far as going to London is just the travel. I mean, it really is our fault, like me and Megan's, because we didn't realize that when you book tickets to go to London, you need to go to the big airport, right? There's a few airports in London. There's two that we thought about. One of them is called Heathrow. It's the bigger one. It's like the international one. And we didn't really realize that if you go to a smaller airport in London, odds are you're going to have more like layovers because you probably can't get a direct flight from wherever you're leaving from. But the City of London airport, which is where we flew into, was a lot closer to our Airbnb. I mean, like an hour closer. And so we thought, of course, we're going to fly into that one. And the problem with that is we had 3 layovers. We're leaving from Tampa, which is an international airport, one of the busiest airports in America. And we had to go from Tampa to New York City to Switzerland to then the UK. So that's 3 layovers, and it was absolutely dreadful. Was not fun. Did not have a very good first day of traveling. But honestly, overall, it wasn't the worst thing. When we got there, it was beautiful, man. Like London in itself has some areas that you might want to avoid, but London itself was a gorgeous city. And as soon as we got there, I was like, oh man, this is going to be like such an amazing experience. I cannot wait to get to the Airbnb and all that stuff. But for those of you guys who don't know, like if you're not in my Discord, we did stay with a bunch of content creators. So we stayed with like Tryhouse, Nito, Jordan. If you guys know, there's a band called the City of Sound, and their main like lead singer and all that stuff is a big member of the Rocket League community. And so we stayed with him and just a whole bunch of people. It was really an amazing time. I could not have asked for better people to stay with because we kind of just hung out the entire time. So like I said, guys, I did meet a lot of pro players. I did meet and hung out with a ton of pro players. I would say probably the highlights, Arsenal. As always, an amazing guy. Tons of fun to be around. Like, I know a lot of you guys watch his streams, but he genuinely is that cool and that fun when you're actually hanging out with him. So we hung out with Arsenal a few times. Nothing too crazy. We pretty much just saw him when we were like out, like at the casino, out in the town. And then Reddles. We hung out with Reddles quite a bit. And my lovely girlfriend here, Megan, she actually got to know Reddles' girlfriend quite well. We all kind of connected while we were sitting at the bar waiting to get a drink. And I don't even know how it came up, but Megan was talking to Reddles. She's like, oh yeah, you know Reddles? I was like, of course I know Reddles. And she's like, you guys were born in the same city. And so Reddle comes up to me. He's like, hey, what hospital were you born in? I was like, Christopher Newport. He was like, no f***ing way. And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's where I was born. I was like, dude, that's crazy. And so we kind of just like talked more because of that and got to know him a good bit. So Reddles is freaking awesome. Arsenal is freaking awesome. We unfortunately did not get to hang out with Daniel because he is a child. Like, he's pretty young, so we were out, like, you know, at the casino and just kind of walking around that area of London, going to different bars. And of course, Daniel's a little bit young, so you already know that he's not going to be able to participate. And also, I want to make sure I say this, SSG in the team, they were not out, like, having fun on days that they, like, before they played. They only went out on the day where they won and didn't have to play the next day, and then when they ended up losing and they didn't have anything to do after that. So they weren't, like, drinking and having a good time before they had to play. So I want to make sure I say that. That way you guys don't think anything of them like, oh, yeah, they must have played bad because they were out drinking. Nah, they were being smart. They were being safe. Ask me anything, guys. What kind of questions you guys have? The crowd cleared the arena right after the final match. Were you forced out? No. I didn't see that at all. Did you guys see that? We left pretty quick, but not after the final match. Like, we stayed to watch. Turbo Pulsa gave, you know, all the winners of Moist. He's the one who gave them their medals. We were there for, like, the little Joyo interview, and oh my god, the whole crowd stayed there for the most part. A bunch of people went to the lower parts of the stadium, so maybe that's why you guys think the crowd left. But no, they just all got out of their seats and, like, went down to the lower section to, like, you know, celebrate, and also to the back part. Who was I rooting for? I was rooting for Moist. And I want Moist to do really, really well because of all that Moist Critical is doing, because he's bringing a lot of new people into Rocket League and introducing a lot of his viewers and his fans to Rocket League and how exciting it can be. And the better that Moist does, the more viewers he's going to get and the more people that are going to be introduced. So I'm excited for them, very much so. Let's kind of get in some more about how the actual experience of the venue was. But yeah, so the two different experiences I've had. So the RLCS that happened in LA was really awesome. The venue itself was just, I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous. Basically, it was this huge overarching stadium that had an NFL football stadium there, and it had the YouTube theater, which is where RLCS was held.
Better venue to meet fans. London equals better for atmosphere.
The atmosphere was really, really good. Like, the stadium itself in London, I would have to say might be a little bit better in my opinion. Just because it was a 360. So instead of like it was in LA, where it was basically the pro players all in the front with the TVs, and then behind them was the audience, and it was like a crescent audience. So it didn't go all the way around. This venue was a 360 view, and then the pro players were in the middle. That's where they were playing. So that was really, really cool. I honestly like that a lot better. Next time, I wouldn't be totally against just going, like, to the floor, because not only were there lower bowl seats, but there were seats on the floor, and they easily had the best seats in the house. And I mean, it was awesome. Plus, all the pro players were down there. There were tons of other really big content creators that were down there on the floor. So next time, I'll probably just spring for those slightly more expensive tickets. My favorite pro that I met in RLCS, it would be Arsenal or Reddles for sure, but I'd probably say Reddles this time. Arsenal was fantastic. He was gassing me up too. So we met Arsenal outside of the venue twice. One of the times, the first time I think was all the creators and a bunch of like the Rocket League people all met up at one of the pubs, and from there we went to the casino that was pretty close. It was a walk away. So we all started at the pub. We got food. We were all chatting, having a great time. I was hanging out with Yukio a lot and Hercules. And when we were walking from the pub to the casino, which was only about a 15-minute walk, Reddles was talking to me a lot. And I was actually kind of surprised because I had never really talked to Reddles. I had never really spoken to him outside of, I played him one time for a YouTube video. And me and him just got to chatting, and it was very, very chill, very good time. We hung out a little bit more at the actual casino. But Arsenal, he's just a good guy. I mean, not really surprising. You would think he is an awesome guy, just as awesome as he is on stream. But he really is a really awesome guy to hang around. He's super fun. He's like the life of the party when you're hanging out with him in person. And there is no difference between his personality on stream or in his videos and in real life. I swear to God, he's the exact same freaking person. And it's so refreshing and fun to be around. But yeah, man, Arsenal, the few times that I, had conversations with him and was hanging out with them, like there'd be this big group of people. I would like walk up to Arsenal and be like, hey bro, like how you doing? You having fun? And he'd be like, man, who is this beautiful man right here? Like, look at you, you got the hair, you is styling right now, man. I'm trying to look like you. And I'm like, Arsenal, shit, all right, you got me gassing me up right now. You gonna have me crying in the club and shit. But if you ever plan to go to an RLCS, expect to have a fantastic time. That's what I can genuinely say. I don't think I talked to anybody that didn't have a great time. And I talked to a lot of people. Like, anyone that came up to me and was like, holy shit, hey, Tenacity, like, hi, can we take a picture? I like your stuff. I would ask them, like, hey, man, you having a good time? And everyone was like, oh, yeah, we're having a great freaking time. This is awesome. So if you're sitting here thinking to yourself, like, I don't know if I want to spend the $1,000, the few $100s it's going to cost me to get a plane to wherever the next one's going to be and buy the ticket and spend on the food. It's really an experience that I think every major Rocket League fan should actually experience, because not only do you get to watch these things live, which is a very different vibe from watching it on the Twitch, but you get to meet all these amazing people. You get to meet tons of pro players. You get to meet, if you're into the content creator scene, then you'll get to meet a ton of awesome content creators no matter where you go. And that's totally worth it to me, I would say. Tenacity, will it be as fun for not famous people to go? Yeah, dude, well, first of all, I don't think I'd really classify myself as a famous person at all. But I would say it doesn't matter if you're a content creator or just a fan. You're going to have an amazing time. You're going to have an amazing time. And that is just like, because if you're not a content creator, the only difference is that, you know, someone isn't going to come up to you and ask for a picture. Other than that, we're all the same people. Like, there is no sense of like, holy shit, you know, there's Arsenal after his game and he's just like ignoring people. No, it's like, holy shit, there's Arsenal talking to 50 people, taking pictures with them and hanging out and like chilling. Oh shit, there's Sunless Khan walking right by me. I'm gonna ask for, like, it's that vibe. There's no suck up people, or at least none that I got to see. Everyone is just there for the same reason. Everyone has the same mentality, and everyone is just there to have a good time and to enjoy themselves and watch some really high quality Rocket League. And so that's the experience that you can expect. What pro players did I meet? Okay, so all in all, pro players that I met, there's a few that I just got to like say hi to, and there was a few that I actually got to hang out with and, you know, talk to and actually like chill with. We stayed at an Airbnb with Yukio. That one's obvious. So we hung out with him a lot, got to know him very well. He's a super cool guy. A little bit shy at first, but by the end of the event, he was very, very open. He was having a great time, and so was everyone else. So, met Yukio, hung out with Arsenal, Reddles, met some Norris. We also got to hang out with apparently Jack a few times. I was playing blackjack with Athena and Rizzo. Talk about a bucket list item, bro.
They want to know what were some of your favorite chants.
Favorite chants? Probably Joyo. That one, I mean, Joyo. Yeah, that one. And then there was another one that they did for all of Moist. It was like they were chanting all the names. So Joyo, Vatira, Rise, Joyo, Vatira, Rise, Joyo. That one was fun. That was probably my favorite. That was my favorite. That one was really, really cool. What was the room like when Moist hit that bracket? Oh my god, so hype. Everything was so hype. Like,
you could tell the energy shifted because a lot of people were rooting for her.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing though. It's like, guys, the crowd was kind of 50-50 because, you know, everyone wanted the Falcons to do really well, and they were, of course, but they also wanted Moist to win because, I mean, it was the EU versus EU kind of thing, so they didn't care that much. Yeah, like, that's what I kind of said, is like, listen, dude, I'm happy for regardless who wins. I want Moist to win, but if Falcons win, I'm going to be just as happy because they certainly also deserve to do very well. They're a great team, and their story is also pretty inspirational, and how they kind of came into RLCS, so... honestly, the crowd was cheering for everything. Every goal that happened, people were clapping and cheering for. They just wanted to have a very entertaining series. They didn't really care who won as much as they cared of. They just want the games to be good. They want it to be entertaining, and they want it to be awesome. If you are going to an event like this, definitely bring something that you wouldn't mind having people sign. Like, a lot of people brought jerseys that they just had pros sign. There's a few people that just brought like white t-shirts, and they just had everyone sign it. A lot of people had controllers, which I thought was really cool, like bringing a controller, because that's actually insanely cool, and then bring a Sharpie or something. Definitely do that if you're planning on going.
If you see Tyler, don't feel like you're gonna bother him by coming up to him. Somebody said that they didn't want to come up because they didn't want to bother you.
That makes no sense to me at all, bro.
Like,
I appreciate the thought of it, but absolutely not. If you ever see me and you're like, oh, I don't want to bother him, bro, you bother me more by not coming and saying hi. Like, I'll be more offended if you didn't come and say hi.
So you're saying I could come see you and then come and tackle you?
I mean, you know what? If it's in good faith, then yeah, hell yeah. What I think about the calm trash talk drama, I think that trash talk is actually like really important for sports, and rivalries and all that kind of stuff is just kind of like a staple, you know? Like, you got to expect that, bro. It's sports. And if people want to take esports just as seriously as they take normal sports, well, you got to kind of expect the same things, you know? And I think that him trash talking, definitely, it's good. It's good for Rocket League. As long as you don't get too personal with your trash talk, then it's a good thing. Yeah, Moist shut him up pretty well. Yeah, well, they did, but that's the risk that you take when you trash talk. If you're just the type of person who trash talks and stuff, you got to understand that if you lose, you got to take it, you know, take it to the chin. You just got to take it, man. If you lose and you act like a little baby about it, then, you know, no one's going to respect you at all. Did I meet anyone from Moist? Nah. There was a bunch of pro teams that they didn't go out. Like, they just kind of stayed in the hotel. You guys got to keep in mind that a lot of these players are really young. So because they're really young, you know, they're not going to go out on the town like drinking and stuff because they literally can't, but also because they just want to, they want to focus. All right, guys, so I think we kind of got everything there. I think we hit all the markers. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned a lot. I mean, the main purpose of this video for me was just to kind of give you guys an idea of what it's like to go to one of these events, how much fun you're probably going to have, and also to plan things out, because if we would have planned a little bit better, we probably would have had a better time. But you know what? Things like that make memories, and you learn lessons from them. So if I can tell you one thing, if you're a big Rocket League fan, you should definitely go to one at some point in your life, because these things are amazing. You get to meet so many amazing people. You make a lot of friends, and you just have a good time. It is the ultimate Rocket League experience, and I think everyone who's a huge fan of Rocket League and really enjoys Rocket League should go to one at some point in their life. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. You know, most people who watch me, I feel like probably aren't subscribed, so it would certainly help me out, and especially if you like the content. I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and that'll do it. Peace out.